the thing. Let's see, I should probably check. No data. Data. We have excellent condition. And away we go. Hey everybody, how you doing today? My name is Relyea and thank you so much for stopping by. Today we are jumping into a very special Kickstarter game. As we do on this channel every now and again, we will do an interview with a developer, and in this case we have Mossbag in the house. We will get to him in just a second. This is the first time I've streamed in like 2 months. If you have been around for a little while, I've been away I'm in the Air Force Reserves. I signed up to jump on orders, so basically go active duty for a little bit and serve at my military base. Very good times. It was actually not that bad. Not too crazy busy, but just don't tell my wife, because she was at home struggling with 3 kids by herself, and it always makes me feel bad. But we had help. Her mom came into town. It was great. I always love it. Some people hate mother-in-laws. I love my mother-in-law. She comes in, helps my wife, makes my wife happy. Happy wife, happy life, you know, all that. So yeah, I'm very excited. I'm happy to have everyone back. Yo, welcome Sammy Boy, Violet L, Teo, Henry, hello, Mitty, JC, good to see you. It is so good. I've missed you. I really have. We've started a Dark Souls playthrough, and some people were like, yo, when are you gonna get back to Hollow Knight? Don't you worry. Hollow Knight, I've got a couple of really good Hollow Knight content ideas, so just give me a second, we'll get into that. Violet says, I so miss these streams. I miss them too. Let me know if the lo-fi music's too quiet. It's switching songs right now, but when it comes back, the big man is back. Yo, Sammy Boy, make sure to hit that like button. And so, without further ado, longer intro, just because I missed you. We have Mossbag. Mossbag, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Dude, congrats on the Kickstarter game. As everyone can see on the screen, you just recently got it funded. And yeah, congrats to that. Tell us about your game and what's going on. How are things on your end?
Yeah, things are good. Yeah, we hit the goal on Thursday. Last Thursday, I was streaming Stray on my YouTube channel, so it was appropriate. Titan Shell's it's a twin stick roguelite 2-player co-op platformer set in a dystopian world where there's a ridiculously well-funded police force that's chasing after you because you maybe just recently broke out of prison. There is a capital city up at the top of the mountain where a church, the Church of Sonder, is, and basically there's rumors that there's some sort of device hidden up at the top of that building at the Bureau of Holy Affairs where you can speak to the gods and, you know, maybe plead your case and get a pardon for your crimes, or if you just want to ask them something else. That's sort of the main goal of the game. So there'll be... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, it sounds super interesting. First thing that popped on my mind was like Dragon Ball Z style. Like you get like one wish, but in this case it's more ask your question, but still.
Oh yeah, for sure. Dragon Ball Z there's a little bit of Dragon Ball Z in there, I think, with the little shells that are the mechs that you pilot. Yeah. We kind of based their design sort of off of the rockets that Vegeta and Nappa use.
Ah, okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, people kept saying it looked like something from a Undertale creepypasta or something.
Okay. When
you get out of your mech, because in this game you can actually get out of your little robot and run around on foot.
Yeah, I was wondering about how that works. I'll put the video on with no sound just so people can kind of see what's going on here.
Yeah, so it's based on there's an old NES game called Blaster Master, and that's sort of where we got the idea. So you're in this shell, this mech that you pilot around, and you get all these different weapons that you can equip to it, and all this stuff. But if you take too much damage and it breaks, instead of dying, you'll eject out of your shell.
Oh, like that, okay.
Yep, so then you're smaller, you have a smaller hitbox, and you're a little bit faster, but you're really, really vulnerable, and it doesn't take much to kill you. But if you can survive long enough, you can get to a shop and buy a new shell and continue your run. So there's sort of a duality between the two different modes.
Got it. And then are you able to leave your shell because you want to? Like, I'm going to leave it on here and I'm going to go run around without my shell, or it's more of you would pretty much always have it if you've got it?
You can leave it whenever you want.
Oh,
so,
interesting.
Let's say you're playing 2-player and maybe one person's not quite as good and their shell is destroyed. The other player could get out of their shell and let the other person pilot it.
That's cool.
So, yeah, you have a lot of freedom with what you want to do. You could just leave it behind at the start of a run and try and play it without a shell. You might not have a good time, but you could try.
Got it. Christopher says, can you get it on Steam? And not yet. They have just launched their Kickstarter campaign. I'll actually throw this link right here. So if anybody wants to help support Mossbag on his creating this game, go ahead and back it on Kickstarter. But yeah, it'll be available on Steam. And speaking of what places it's available, I saw this. You got the stretch goal for the Nintendo Switch port, huh?
Yep. And we're about $1,500 away from that. So closing in. That's really exciting. Yes. I think that the kind of couch co-op gameplay is really good on Switch. So
and somebody asked about that earlier. Is it used? It will be couch co-op and it'll be online co-op, or is it just couch? How are you doing that part?
It'll be both.
Okay.
So couch
Very
co-op
cool.
or online. So
yeah, and everybody, as you can see, I am reading questions here and there from chat. I'll do my best to get to all of them. Try not to just bombard me all at once, but yeah, I'll ask some questions. You guys ask some questions. We'll kind of go back and forth. And hello, welcome everybody. While we're talking about stretch goals, do you have plans do you have more stretch goals planned out beyond these two that we just don't get to see yet, or what are you thinking with that?
We're still talking about what we could potentially do. I mean, we have a pretty firm idea for what's coming next. So, like the next one that's coming, which will probably be revealed after the Switch port is hit. But outside of that, we're still discussing ideas. So.
All right, I got two questions for you. One, will Titan Shell be vegan friendly?
I don't think so.
Might not be. Okay.
I think there might be some things that you can eat that are animals as like an item or something.
And Spruce says, please canonize lobsters.
Yeah, that's I'm getting a lot of questions about that, or a lot of people asking for that. There's a petition with like 30 signatures.
No way.
Yeah, because of it's in the Titan Shell Discord server that's kind of propagated.
Oh, that's awesome. You love to see community forums when those happen naturally, right?
Yeah. I think it's because I made a petition for Team Cherry to canonize lobsters in my Coliseum of Fools video. So it's come back to haunt me. That one-off joke.
Yep.
Continues on.
Let's see. Joaquin asks, is there a release date? I know the answer, but I'll let you.
Yeah, so we put December 2023 on the Kickstarter, but that is an estimate. You never know when you're this far out from development, but that's sort of our target goal. So
for sure. And so we also we have Pogo Bro, who just came in. Guys, if you don't know Pogo Bro, another awesome YouTuber, does cover a lot of Hollow Knight stuff and a lot of just indie games in general. Please go check out their channel. Like, seriously, it's so good. Love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah. So let me pull up. He told us about the game. So the URL for the Kickstarter is Titan Zero. Was that vanity URL just taken, or did you change the name of the game at some point?
The name of the game was changed. So Titan Zero was kind of a placeholder name that we kind of fell in love with and really liked.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kind of like constructed a lore thing behind the word Titan Zero, or behind the phrase. But after we did
there's like a Zero Titan. potentially.
Something like that. But after we revealed the teaser, people brought up to us that there's some obscure VR game on a platform on a marketplace that I've never heard of that is already called Titan Zero.
Yeah.
So we decided to change the name to avoid any kind of issues with that. So
Makes sense. Jackson, go ahead.
Titan Shell still works with the lore, and I think it works better with the lore, honestly. So.
I think it explains the game better.
Yeah, that too. I think Titan Zero, because I was always a little bit concerned that people think, oh, is this a demake of Titanfall? Which isn't really what we are. So
Yeah. Let's see. Jackson's asking, if what am I saying? If Mossbag's game is inspired by Hollow Knight. And so that's a great question. Just in general, I don't know if it was on the Kickstarter page. What games are kind of inspiring you right now? Oh, it says right here, but yeah.
Yeah, so the biggest one is probably Enter the Gungeon. That's a pretty recent roguelite that we really love playing. Like our lead programmer has probably put 300 hours into it on Switch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's kind of our biggest inspiration. And then Contra and Blaster Master. Blaster Master for the mechanic of getting out of your robot, and then Contra, we really like the big bosses in those games.
Yeah, I've been missing big bosses. I feel like we need more of them in gaming in general.
Yeah, so that's really what I'm excited about with Titan Shell, is making big bosses. As for Hollow Knight, I think I want to carry on the spirit of Hollow Knight, but just from the nature of what we're making, it's kind of hard to say has much inspiration. Like, probably the biggest one would be the world. I want to make a world that's as mysterious and captivating as Hollow Knight. Has lots of fun characters that, you know, you really get attached to, and random things that take you by surprise. So that's probably the biggest inspiration. Another thing is the combat in Hollow Knight. Like when you're fighting Grimm or the Sisters of Battle, and you get into this dance.
Yeah.
I really like that, and I hope that we can capture that kind of excitement.
I did see that in the trailer with one of the bosses, where there was at least 2 of them going across the bottom of the screen, and there might have been 1 or 2 more on the far side as well. That looked really cool.
The miners, or?
Yes, they look like miners. They're some sort of yellow suit.
Yeah. Yep, that's definitely... I mean, you can see in the Silksong trailer there, they made a boss that's pretty similar. The 2 drill head things. So... it's a good boss design.
Yeah. Let's see. Somebody's asking if you see yourself porting the game to console, PS4 and Xbox.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it'd be cool to do that. We're starting with Switch first because I think that's really what people... I think, you know, the Switch is just a great platform for indies. And then the Switch is probably the most difficult to port it to. So then the Xbox and the PlayStation will be a bit easier.
Got it.
But nothing to
go ahead.
Nothing to confirm right now. And I don't know, PS4 and Xbox, I assume those will still probably be pretty popular in a year, even though the new generations are coming out. Because that's something to think about.
That makes sense. Yeah, because they're man, I wonder how far out we are from the next generation.
Yeah, well, I wonder if the Switch is going to get replaced anytime soon.
And that's got to be hard for developers, because like I wonder like how, like, I guess it's Nintendo's job to kind of put out the kit for everybody to develop on, right? For whatever the new console is.
Yep. You have to sign up for the kit and all that.
Yeah.
And then you got to wait for like Unity, and we use Game Maker for our game engine.
Yeah,
and you got to wait
for okay.
Yeah, you got to wait for them to push out an update for their program to port out to the new system. So, but I'm not too worried about that. I think the Switch will probably be around for a while.
Yeah, I think so. I very much think that that's probably going to be the case. Emily's asking, will there be voice acting?
Gosh. probably not. But there's something I really want to do, which probably won't happen. But there's this movie called Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
throwback.
Yeah, but on the DVD they had a audio track called Book on Tape, where all the character dialogue was read by one British man, and he just read it in the most like monotone voice, all of the dialogue. And I'd love to put that in the game. I think that'd be hilarious.
It's just straight dry boring.
Yeah, I think that'd be funny.
Just because he can, yeah. Oh, you know what? That'd be fun if they're like, I miss the old school games that like as you beat the game, you get like the cheat codes that unlock stuff, like a GoldenEye Big Head or like whatever it is. Usually they're like things that don't really change the game too much, but yeah, having like something like that as like an unlock.
Yeah, someone on our Kickstarter page was asking for Big Head mode.
Big Head
Which
mode
I was
must be
like-
making its way back from the
I was
90s.
like, I didn't know people wanted it so bad, but yeah, I guess no game has probably done it in a while.
Yeah.
So
Let's see. Pogo Bro's asking, a lot of what we see are combat challenge rooms. Will there be any heavy platforming sections in runs?
we have some ideas, but the game is primarily a combat focused experience.
Yeah.
So you probably notice that there's not a lot of like panning in the rooms.
Yeah.
And that's sort of because we want this game to primarily be cooperative. We kind of like the idea of just having one screen where you can see everything. And that might be a little bit difficult to do a platforming section with, but I think there are some ideas where it's like parts of the room become dangerous to be in and you have to, maneuver yourself correctly, or like platforms scroll by and you have to jump on them like an auto scroller.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can't really do anything. We probably won't do anything like a Path of Pain.
Yeah.
Because, Path of Pain, if you can't pogo, I don't think it's quite as satisfying to do a Path of Pain without pogoing.
Well, you could probably, or maybe do like, you know how Hollow Knight had the AR mod? And you could like, it was almost like fly with your gun a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And you could have a gun that gives you enough knockback, but maybe it doesn't deal any damage. So its only use is for flying. And so then you get like a section that's like Battletoad style, like you're saying, is auto scrolling, and you have to use those weapons. And
That'd be pretty fun.
it's interesting. Spitballing.
Yeah, I'll write that down. That's a fun one.
Let's see, a couple of questions. We got people asking, MC, how long will a run be? And somebody else earlier asked, how hard will the game be?
So it's 6 levels. At least that's the plan for when the game's released. I think a nice thing about a roguelite is you can kind of update it. If the game is successful enough, you can just keep adding stuff to it, and it is kind of seamless. But yeah, we're planning on 6 levels. Probably 10 to 15 minutes to get through a level. But obviously it'll be difficult. So if you die, you have to restart.
Mm-hmm.
That whole jazz. But that said, we do want accessibility options. And so if a
Makes
person
sense.
wants to just not die or just restart the level, we want to be able to just add those in so that people can enjoy the game however they want.
That makes sense.
So yeah, I think we should have it be a cheat code like the old days.
Right.
You're accessible like Contra, up down, left right, or up down left right VA start, get 30 lives.
Man. Yeah,
So-
but like seriously, when was the last time the Konami code was like in a game? Like I can't even remember.
Yeah,
I feel like it's been a while.
I know Shovel Knight had cheat codes. Like you could get butt mode, where everyone's name got changed to butt or something.
That's funny.
Yeah, so we definitely want to do stuff like that and have accessibility options. So
Raj, let's see. Are there any plans for an end game, kind of like God Home?
an end game boss rush or just a special endgame area?
Probably just special endgame area in general.
That's an interesting question. I guess we'll see.
Good stuff. Let's see, make sure I'm not missing anything. Let's see, isn't this game a roguelite or light? I enjoy games where there's occasionally enemies or even bosses that don't fit in with the aesthetic, like you are facing a future stuff. Then Dragon, will there be that?
Well, we do want to make sure that everything makes sense in the world. But at the same time, I think we'll be able to do some pretty weird stuff, out there stuff. So, a dragon though, I don't know if a dragon will be able to work, but maybe there might be a path to make a dragon reasonable.
Let's see. Is there any specific part of development that you really like?
Oh geez. A specific part of development that I really like.
Oh, and we should probably explain. Can you explain what you're doing, and then the other two people how what they're doing?
Oh yeah. So I'm mainly just kind of doing enemy design, boss design, guns. I'll help make guns and stuff. Just kind of the more game design side of things. And then we've got Sam. He is the lead programmer, so he's done all the system stuff, building our lighting engine, building our level editor, making the room, like how the rooms connect together, and all that stuff, and a lot of other things. And then Dillon is our artist, so making all of the sprites, and he also does all of the music and all that sort of stuff. So, but there's a lot of crossover between each of our jobs, to where helping each other out, which is kind of what you have to do when you're a small team. So, which is good, I think.
Yeah.
Make sure that everyone kind of knows how each step of the process works.
Got it. And just so you know, everyone who's asking questions, I'm writing down questions right now and throwing them into a Word document, so I will get to all these. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything now. And let's see. What I want to ask is I was looking at these backer goals. So real quick, I'm gonna throw the link if any of you want to check out the Kickstarter page to help back it. There's a link in the chat. You got a lot of different goals, which are great. I love the way that you got it all set up, but one thing that I thought was super interesting, it might even be hard for you guys to pull off, is and it's gonna be don't get me wrong, it's very exciting for anybody who's backing. There's a lot of things for collaboration with the community, right? Design an attack. There's 50 people who are designing attack for the Worm Lord. There are let's see, what was the next one that had 200 prisoners to be designed, and a couple of other ones. What else was there? 30 wanderers, 12 guns, 12 costumes, 8 mini bosses, 5 bosses, and 2 quests, for a total of 319 different people, if they're all filled, to consult with. Is that a lot?
It's a good number, but I think the bigger quantity ones don't have quite as much work to them. So
got it. Okay.
Yeah, so the prisoners, it will just be probably just a sprite of them standing in the prison, and then a portrait for their character when they talk, and then the backer will provide what they say. So we kind of base that off of Shovel Knight, because they have a tier. I think in the Ghost House, all the backers are portraits in the background. So that was sort of the idea. And then Wanderer is very similar. It'll just be, they'll have a few different talk sprites for different emotions. So,
got it.
Yeah, and it's a lot, but we really did want to get the community involved with all of the designing process. So, because I want to fill the game with a lot of fun characters. So,
yeah, and I think it's honestly, I think it's really cool that you get info from a bunch of different people. Like, I think that it just gets more community involvement, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. That was that. All right. So some community questions. Gumby number 5. How'd you come up with the game pricing? I felt Hollow Knight was absurdly low for what it was.
Yeah, Hollow Knight. Basically, we kind of wanted to aim for that price range.
Yeah.
I don't think our game will be quite as big as Hollow Knight though, so I don't think it'll be absurdly priced. So.
No worries. Let's see. Phase or Faz, will there be any Hollow Knight references in the game?
We did design like a little Hollow Knight costume, and we were gonna put it in the trailer, but we decided maybe not. Maybe talk to Team Cherry first, but
yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure there'll be something will be reminiscent of Hollow Knight somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it never hurts to pay homage, especially to the different games that you're pulling inspiration from and stuff like that. It'd be different if you had the Little Knight. Like, that's not okay, but like, I don't know. Never hurts to ask for permission, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Let's see. Let me grab this question. And Christopher asked, is there going to be a Cornifer? So I just imagine that'd be like a map maker type character.
Probably not. Our game is not as focused on that kind of aspect of exploration, because the rooms will be different every time. There will be a map, but it'll probably just be automatically loaded in as you go through it. So
let's see. If the game has 6 levels planned for launches from Pogo Bro, does that mean that there'll be multiple boss fights per level, or will each level pull from a pool of boss fights like in ETG?
Aren't those both the same? Am I thinking about this wrong? Yeah, we want there to be a couple of bosses per level, like maybe two bosses that you can encounter at the end of a level.
Yeah. And
then mini bosses sprinkled throughout.
Makes sense. Dragonclaw says, how are you doing today, Mossbag?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking.
Right? The things are going good on my end as well. It's a beautiful day. Southern California. Actually, today was my kid's first day of school. I've got 3, 9-year-old, 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. So 9 and 4 went to 4th grade and TK, and my wife was she got a little choked up having her baby go into school.
Aww.
But yeah, it was good. It was really good. So let's see what else we got. Zugi probably wasn't here a little bit earlier, was asking who is designing the sound and the music.
Oh yeah, that's Dillon, one of our core team members, so he's doing all that stuff.
Let's see. And do you see yourself taking a path like Dead Cells after finishing one biome? You can choose one out of 2 biomes, or will there be permanent upgrades? That's a great question.
Ooh, let's see here. We might do alternate pathing. I think if we get our $64,000 stretch goal, the principal city, Leto, we would do it that way, where it's like you kind of pick the path you want to take at the end. But right now, that a lot of it's just going to be those 6 levels. You know, you're going to go through them one by one.
Makes sense. Let's see. Because I would imagine, so you go through them one by one, so every run you'd go through all 6 worlds every time, right?
Yeah, basically. We might have, because I think Gungeon lets you basically skip levels.
Mm-hmm.
but it's usually not a good idea because you want to get more items. So we might have like a guy who has a bird and they'll carry you to a future level or something if you want to.
Got
But
it.
other than that, yeah, it'd be you go through those levels every time.
Makes sense. And then I forgot. Did you say that there would be any permanent like movement upgrades? I mean, because you said that there would be different shells, and each of those shells have specific things. So maybe the shells are the movement upgrades, or are those only like combat upgrades?
There's different shells in the trailer. So like a one that crawls around on the walls and ceiling, and one that can fly. Those will be ones that you unlock. I don't know if they're upgrades or just like different play styles. And then you can also unlock new player characters, like the little pilots that man the shells.
Yeah.
And then we have talked about maybe new guns can be unlocked to start with. There are like a few basic guns you might be able to get, but not a lot of permanent upgrades.
Got it.
Like what Dead Cells has.
It sounds like there wouldn't be, because it's like you said, it's combat focused. It's almost. I mean, I wouldn't want to say like it is God Home, where it's supposed to be just boss after boss, like in order, but with some variety, kind of.
Yeah, it's a lot more combat focused.
Yeah.
So
Good stuff. So why did you decide to go with the twin stick shooter roguelite as opposed to doing something more Metroidvania style?
that's a good question. So we actually started with the concept of a Metroidvania, but honestly, we felt we had this huge world map all planned out and all these ideas, but we felt like it was a little too big a scope for our first project. So we kind of wanted to scale it down and do something that we still would really like and still think is really fun, but maybe not as ambitious. Because, I wanted it would be cool to make a game like Hollow Knight, but Hollow Knight's a big game, so
right? Yeah. Big shoes to fill there.
Yeah, so kind of going and doing something a little bit different, and I still think that all the things I wanted to do, creating a rich world and cool characters and all that stuff, still fits in the concept of the game we're making currently. So, I think I'm happy with. I'm really happy to be working on this game for sure.
And so with the twin stick shooter gameplay, are you making it with PC keyboard and mouse style like gameplay in mind first, or controller in mind first? Or I mean, I imagine you're going to want to make it so anybody can play it, but when you guys are playing it and testing it, like what are you aiming for with that?
Well, as we're playing and testing, we're using a mouse and keyboard for sure.
Yeah.
Just kind of, it's what we have available. But we do plug in controllers to test it, and we do have controller support built in. But we do need to, we'll take a little bit of time to maybe add in some aim assist just to help people out and stuff like that. So yeah, you'll be able to play with mouse and keyboard or with a controller. And we want both experiences to feel as good as they can.
Yeah. And I can't, what was the programming language and engine you're using again?
The engine is Game Maker Studio 2, which uses its own proprietary language, GML. So, yeah, which we picked that because Sam just that's what he's learned. He's been doing Game Maker projects since he was like 10 or something. It's been a long time he's been using it, so over a decade.
Got it. I'm gonna drop the link to the Kickstarter again. Pogo Bro, did Mossbag come up with the shell visual design, or was it what was the inspiration behind the shells?
Ooh, I think the biggest inspiration for the design of the shells comes from a Super Nintendo game called Twinbee, where it's like a whole franchise. And they're robots with like feet and arms. Our little patrolmen enemies that you see in the trailer are probably the most obvious like similarity. And that was Dillon. Dillon came up with that design for us. I originally drew some kind of spider thing with tiny little legs, and it did not look very good.
I hope you show all that stuff. Like I want to see the development process as you're going, whether it's on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Like every now and again, like who's been doing a really good job of that?
Mark Brown.
Mark Brown. What's the game though?
Oh, he's making a magnet game.
Maybe him and oh man, who else am I thinking? Let me pull up Twitter.
There's lots of devlogs.
There's a lot of devlogs out there. That's true. Moon. Leth is now helping market for what game?
Crowsworn?
Crowsworn. Crowsworn's been doing a good job of that. Haiku the Robot did a great job of that.
Oh yeah.
Who else? There's a couple. But anyways, I love that stuff. Eat it up, and I feel like that really helps get people looking at stuff. And speaking of different games, while I'm thinking of it right now, there is another Metroidvania game that's currently on a Kickstarter. It is Nara Facing Fire. They are short of their goal. They've only got 9 days left. And so if you're looking for Metroidvania games, refresh. There we go. Grab the link for you. This is one that I also wanted to shout out as well. There's a link in the chat. I've been meaning to shout them out or talk about them, get something going. But yeah, that one's a straight Metroidvania as opposed to what Mossbag's working on. So yeah.
Yeah, you can see the Hollow Knight, Ori, and Celeste influences for sure.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Yeah,
great game.
It looks really pretty. I really hope it gets backed and funded, just because it looks like it's got a lot of potential with that one. So
yeah, it's a family of four brothers and sisters or something.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Dragonclaw says thank you. Is Dragonclaw, are they with Nara? Nobody asked me to reach out or say anything about this, but I just thought it was another cool one that I wanted to check out. All right, let's see, what else did we have? Next question. Twin stick shooter. So yeah, you're doing more so with PC in mind. For multiplayer, what happens if your friend dies? Do they just watch you play, or can they affect the gameplay in any way, shape, or form?
So they wouldn't be able to affect the gameplay. They're just dead, or they've been captured, I should say. People don't die. The police capture you and put you in a little prison cell and drag you away.
Got it.
But there's resistance fighters out in the lands of Sonder, who maybe will, capture prisoners that were captured by the police and then sell them on the black market for the people who want them back.
That's
so basically
interesting. Okay, that's really smart.
Yeah, so if you make it to a shop, you can find your teammates locked up and buy them to free them. So
that's really smart. Let's see. Same boy says that jump out of the shell looks so cool, right? So, and it looks like if you jump out of your shell, is that the shell is destroyed in this image, or the shell it doesn't take damage if you're not in it?
Let's see. I think the shell won't take damage. We still have to. I'll have to see what Sam said about that.
Yeah,
but
fair enough.
Yeah, we really don't want. We want the player to feel like if they want to get out of the shell and run around, they don't have to be punished because they left their shell unattended. So
that makes sense. I feel like that would probably be the way to go.
In that image, they're jumping out manually.
Maybe one of their powers should be that they can call their shell back to them, like a Tesla.
Oh yeah, I think we talked about that as an item.
Ah, there you go.
But that could be a player. A player could do that, which would be cool. We'll do that. One of those two we'll do.
Let's see. All right, getting back to some of the chat questions. Aurora asks thoughts on modding the game. Like, because I don't know if, like, you know how Hollow Knight, they've got a mod installer, but that was made by modders. Like, I don't know, like, I know for a fact that, like, on Xbox Game Pass, like, you can only use mods if they were, like, approved of by the developers or something weird like that. I don't even know what developers do to support modding.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not exactly sure how it'd work either, because we're not a Unity project, we're a game maker project. So I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know how much modders have really looked into it. I know Undertale is a game maker game, and I think there's some modding for that.
Got it.
But like, our levels and our level layouts and stuff are basically JSON files, which are things that people could open up and read, and you know, maybe we'll give out our level editor for people to make their own levels. Like, ooh. I would love, you know, it's just a matter of, do we have time to give these things, to polish these things up for people to use and put them out to the community, or will the community just do it without our help? I mean, yeah. I don't know. I hope that there's modding for the game, because I think modding is really cool.
Yeah. So, you know, that actually fits in with this next question. The delusional jockey is asking, will there be DLC? Like, I guess, do you plan to continue developing and making more content from the game once it's out? I guess is probably the best way to put it.
I mean, I it's a little far out to say, but I think that would be really cool to do that. I think, like I said earlier, the format for the game is really well suited for that kind of stuff. A roguelite where you can just kind of maybe add in new areas that are alternating paths and stuff like that, I think would be really cool. So maybe DLC, maybe free updates, but not sure yet.
Let's see. Somebody was saying that if you do have modding support, make it like Don't Starve, where we can use Steam Workshop. Interesting. I don't know how Steam Workshop works. I've never used it.
Yeah, me neither. We'll have to look into all that, how that works in the documentation. But yeah, I think Rivals of Aether, I think they probably use that. So like, people can just publish mods on there and you can grab them up, like a little marketplace, which sounds pretty cool. So
right, I like it. Let's see, I think you answered this one earlier, but how many bosses are in the game?
That number is not really final yet, so
got it.
Probably around, like, you know, let's see, might be around 15 to 20 of the big ones.
Makes sense. Let's see.
That's a estimate.
Yeah. Hey, chat, real quick. Sorry if this gets loud. I realize I haven't had alerts on, and when I turn it on, sometimes they all pop in all at once. So, loud sound alert. Let's see. There we go. That's actually not bad. It sounds like they're going. I just can't hear them. Sweet. Are they going away? Okay, it's gone. Good. Let's see. Do you see yourself making more games and sequels in the future? I feel like it's super early to ask that, but you know.
Yeah, I guess we'll see how this one goes. But I know it's a lot of fun to make a game. It's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun. It's something that I really like about YouTube, that I really like about game development, is that you have that creative expression, you know, to kind of come up with all these different ways to express yourself.
Yeah. And
so, you know, that's, if you can find a place where you can work and do that, that's really cool. So
let's see. Where'd it go? Will the game have deep hidden lore, or will it mostly be on the surface? It's a good question.
There'll probably maybe be some lore that's a bit deeper than other parts of the lore, I suppose. Yeah, Yeah, there'll be all sorts of lore, all kinds of lore for you to find.
I feel like it would make sense to have both, like, I mean, there's got to be some story. I mean, and obviously you made it very clear what the story is. So, I mean, a lot of this is very much on the surface. You broke out of prison. You're trying to get to this town. You're trying to speak with the gods, so on and so forth. So a lot of it's already on the surface. I mean, that already has, like, I couldn't have told, like, if this was Hollow Knight, like, I couldn't have told you that much about Hollow Knight even after I beat the game.
Yeah. I think there will be a kind of a more active story than Hollow Knight, because Hollow Knight, you're kind of just wandering around and you sort of stumble into what the whole point is. Whereas I think our game will be more upfront about what the point is, but there will still be things that are like, why is the world like this? Who are these certain people I have run into on my journey?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that kind of stuff. Obviously, how is everything going to work out in the end with the endings and stuff? So there'll be interesting things there.
Ooh, multiple endings?
Well, I mean, you play as different characters, and they're all, they all have their own reasons.
Yeah, makes sense.
So,
let's see. Somebody's asking, will local multiplayer be Cuphead or Halo split screen? I like the Cuphead. So earlier, Mossbag was saying how the screen would be locked, and so you would see everybody all in one screen. So yeah, it would be more Cuphead like.
Yep, it'll be like Cuphead.
Let's see. Will the game be short or long? A little subjective, but
yeah, it's you'll be going on runs that are 30 minutes to an hour, so however many times you want to play through it and unlock all the characters and all the skins and just beat the game, get to the end. So however long you want to invest, I suppose.
Raj.
So
let's see. Multiplayer shall do. Oh, so one thing that you answered this earlier, because there are different pilots you can get, and the pilots are prisoners, and people can back to become a prisoner, inmate. For 120 you can design a prisoner, but these prisoners aren't the pilots. Everybody's not like for that, they're not designing the pilot. How many pilots are you planning on doing in the game?
Well, we have 5 right now. And they're very tiny little characters, so they're not a whole lot of sprites or a lot of work, and we want to keep their abilities not too crazy, but we do have
abilities and backstory and all that kind of stuff that you have to do extra work for, right?
Yeah, but we do have a few more in mind that we want to put in, but right now it's just 5. So, and the monkey's dialogue will be easy because he's only going to go ooh ah. Although our idea is that people will spill their guts to it because they don't think it can understand.
There we go. Just answering a question in chat. Let's see. Are you guys considering speedrun possibilities in the design process? Like Hollow Knight has skips and stuff like that. So I guess you're not going to be able to do skips, but will you even add some sort of background timer that people can access, or maybe it would be interesting because it sounds like there's going to be some version or some amount of RNG, which makes it a little bit harder to speedrun, but yeah, it would be really cool to have some in-game stuff for timers or whatever.
Yeah, we could probably do something like that. One thing we have discussed is trying not to have too much RNG to annoy people, but ultimately speedrunners they're a really small percentage of the people who play, but it's really good when you can have a strong speedrunning community because it gets people excited to see stuff. So
and they keep playing it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It's not a play it once and you're done, all right, next game. They get into it.
Yeah. So we're considering speedrunners for sure while we make the game.
Good stuff. Let's see. Gumby number 5. What would be your advice to somebody just getting into game dev? It's a little intimidating, if I'm honest.
Well, I'm lucky because I have Sam, has spent a lot of time, just making games, and I really think that's the best way to do it, is just keep making little projects and experimenting with things, do things that challenge you. Even just starting off really, really small, and just keeping at it really is the best way, I think, to develop the skill. You just got to put the time in. So.
Makes sense. Let's see. Dead End is asking, is the game completed? And the answer is no. The reason we're here is we are talking about the Kickstarter part of the game. So the game is so early that they've started working on it. You have to let us know when you got started on it, but they're raising money so they can afford to go at it full time. So yeah, when did you get started on it?
Well, we were working on a kind of different game in our free time back around 2020, but we weren't able to put that much time into it. And then when 2021 came around, we sat down and said, okay, let's try and make a roguelite, which will maybe be a little bit smaller in scope. And around 2020 is when I quit my job, because I had a real job and I was doing YouTube on the side.
Yeah.
And so now YouTube's been my main source of income for the past, year and a half.
Yeah.
And that has given me more time to work on the game. So it's about a year and a half of part-time development. So yeah, once we can go full-time, development should speed up, and we'll be able to get the game finished sooner and all that good stuff.
Raj, and speaking of, what are you most excited for in the game?
Oh, probably bosses.
Honestly,
the bosses are one of my favorite things of Hollow Knight.
Definitely.
Outside of the lore, the bosses are my favorite. So being able to create cool and fun bosses, that sounds really good to me.
Right? It'll be fun to see also which ones the community gets really into and it sticks for them too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We have the boss of the first area, his name's Walter, because he's a giant wall.
Oh, I see what you did there.
And so many people have been making Breaking Bad memes about it because his name's Walter. And it's oh my gosh. And the guy who runs the Walter machine is named Mike, which was not intentional, but there's a character in Breaking Bad named Mike, so it just made it worse. So
you might as well go through the whole cast then.
Yeah, Jesse, Walt Jr., Skylar, Hank.
Let's see.
Tuco.
Yeah, Tuco. There you go.
Yeah, fan favorite.
Walter. Oh, that's great. Let's see. Will the areas gradually transition from one area to the next, or is it more going to be okay, we're in the first area, it all looks like this?
It'll be more, it all looks like this. But we still want each area to feel like it has a purpose in the world. So in the desert, you see a lot of trains going by hauling material and stuff. There's a laboratory which has some significance for things in this universe that will be more clearly shown in the full game and stuff like that. The first level's in the prison, it's just outside the prison but still inside the perimeter.
Yeah.
So
let's see. We talked about being able to play the game that you want, how you want to play it as far as difficulty goes, but another question that was brought up is, will you add accessibility settings such as colorblind mode, photosensitivity, captions, disable screen shake, anything like that?
Oh, that's a really good question. Definitely I think we'll have a way to turn off screen shake, because that should be a pretty simple process. Colorblind mode, I honestly don't know what goes into that. Like, do you just have to?
I think like on the screen right now. Oh, let me go back. Like all of these reds, I think that like certain colors are hard to distinguish from each other with colorblind. I don't know which colors exactly. I'm not an expert in it or anything, but like this brown and this red would probably look like the same color. Like you couldn't tell the difference between these two things.
Oh yeah, so kind of like a.
You'd have to do a palette swap on certain things.
Yeah, because The Last of Us Part 2 has modes where it turns everything into like gray polygons, and then the dangerous things are red, so you can more clearly see everything. We'll have to look into it. I think that would be a good thing to have, but it might just be your character can't die, or your character other accessibility things that will make it easier, even if you do struggle with like certain things like that.
Yeah, makes sense.
But not, yeah.
Let's see. Well, yeah, at least now you know, so it's something worth looking into. Let's see. That was most of the questions that I have. Is there anything in particular you want to share about the game or talk about that we haven't already really discussed? I mean, we kind of went through a lot of it.
No, I think we've covered a good chunk of all the stuff. So yeah.
So let me. I'm gonna throw it out there again. There's the link in the chat. We're talking with Mossbag. He's working on his game Titan Shell. Would love if you guys would support and back the game, so in that way they can make the best game possible. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with over time.
Thank you. Yeah, excited to get it made and get it out and see what everybody thinks.
For sure.
And hopefully enjoy all the crazy stuff we decide to put in it.
Right. I just with your humor and stuff like that, like I'm excited to see how like quippy and like out there it gets.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun. Let's see. So now, what do you think about Silksong? What are you thinking? We got some news. We've had plenty of time to digest.
Well, I'm waiting for the Gamescom release date drop. That's obviously coming.
Oh yeah, isn't that's this week? That's today. What's going on?
It started yesterday. I think it's going till Sunday or something. I don't know.
Let's see. Let's pull up a schedule. Maybe because there's got to be an Xbox thing, right? An Xbox part to the Gamescom. So I should probably be streaming that at some point. It's official open night. Everything kicked off on the 23rd. Xbox event will be taking place tomorrow at 5 a.m.
Oh,
that's really early. I might have to get the. Oh, it's 5 a.m. to 11. Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
That's really long too. 6 hours. Yeah, I might have to just. I don't think I'm gonna stream that. What to expect?
Yeah, I do not have high hopes for it. It's just fun to dream.
It's fun to dream, because anybody who doesn't already know, we got some information at the Xbox Summer Game Fest, I think it was, right? And they said that we will get Hollow Knight within a year, as of whenever the date was, June 15th or something like that.
June 12th.
June 12th. So now we're 2 months after that, little more, and so I mean, because it was clear we weren't going to get Silksong within a month or two, and we're already 2 months in, and we're probably not going to get it right at the end of that 12 months. So I think it's going to be in the middle somewhere, right? I don't know. What do you think in release date wise as of now?
Maybe February or something, but
I'm still there. I'm still thinking February too.
But I could go into June. I don't know.
Oh man.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Right? To wait the last second.
Yeah. June 12th at 11:59 Hawaii time.
Yeah, right? Well, yeah. Or they wait until the 13th, so it's just like one day late, and right as everyone's complaining, they're like, here you go, have your game.
Yeah.
Everyone's complaining so much that they don't even realize the game got released.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm so excited to play it eventually.
I was really hoping it was going to come out sooner rather than later. I actually am not going to be doing YouTube full time anymore. I did it for a year. It was about a year from now that I started doing YouTube full time, and everything's been growing. Everything's going great, but it hasn't been good enough to support a family of 5 in San Diego, California, if you get what I'm saying. So yeah, I actually started a new job in a month. I'm gonna go back to accounting.
Nice.
Which I'm excited for. It means I'll be able to afford stuff again.
Yeah, that would be nice. Are you gonna stick around when Silksong comes out? Are you gonna?
Oh yeah, no. So right now I'm pumping out as much content as I possibly can. Like I'm making tons and tons of videos. So a shameless plug: if you become a member, you get early access to a bunch of videos. And so my plan is I'm just gonna go back to what I was doing before I went full time. Like I'll make videos just after my kids go to bed.
Yeah, that works. I mean, it's how you started, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it worked for 4 years, so it won't be it won't be the end of the world. So I wonder, man, Gamescom, Silksong? There's got to be something. Chat, let me know, when do you think Silksong is coming out? Silksong news, Gamescom is coming. Game Pass confirmation. Yeah, I don't know. Well, at least it's tomorrow morning. Maybe there's news when we wake up. You know, that would be great.
Yeah, I guess the indie games are on Friday.
Oh.
But Hollow Knight is so big. I mean, it's like...
Is it still... At what point... What makes a game no longer indie? I mean, they're still indie, but...
They are indie, but it's like the indie section is... it's a different thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I've been adamant that Silksong won't appear at a Nintendo indie showcase at all. Like... If they wanted, if Silksong was going to be in a direct, it'd be in a full direct.
Yeah,
it's just such a big game. It's so anticipated, and it would kind of, not that other indie games aren't great, but it would kind of like take away from everything else.
Yeah. Let's see. Andrew W asks, so what will Mossbag do with the money from the game? Will you use it to make better vids, a sequel, support yourself? I can pull up. Where'd it go? Titan Shell. What was planned with the money? That's a great question.
I think they mean money that the game makes when it releases.
Oh, got it. That makes sense. Yeah, good question.
So it'll go towards
paying down on your credit card debt from from making the game. yeah, pay off all those. Well, I'm not the only one making it, so my partners will have vested interest in what happens with the money. So, probably just keep that in that business, and then use it to make another game, or I guess just cash out, and then we all do with it what we want. I mean, I like making YouTube videos. I don't want to stop. Yeah.
So, not sure what I'll do after Silksong, but I definitely want to try other things. I enjoy it. It's fun.
Let's see. Somebody's asking, can we hear the music soundtrack from your game? There's actually music on this page. I will let you go find it. Go check out that Kickstarter page. The music's actually really interesting. Like it's just super retro.
Yeah. We like that 16-bit style for sure.
As long as the guns aren't going pew 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 like for like forever, it'd be too much.
Oh yeah, I mean, we'll let the guns be, the volume on them be adjustable.
Yeah.
So
let's see. Where is... I thought I had something else on here. The indie area. That's what I wanted to know. Because we said it was on Friday. But what time on Friday? Oh, I don't know. I'll look at this later.
Yeah.
Let's see. Somebody's asking, how did you meet, or how did you guys get Meatbag Studio meet? How did the team meet?
Well, Dylan and Sam are brothers, and I'm their cousin, so we've kind of known each other our whole lives. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I figured that you guys were like friends or something. Do you guys live close by too, or is it long distance development?
We live in the same town, so
okay.
They drive over to my house. I have a spare bedroom, and that's our office. So.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So yeah, so definitely close enough, right?
Yep. So with childhood friends, always talked about making games. We would make games in RPG Maker and Game Maker, Sonic ROM hacks, just random stuff like that. So.
Sounds like a good time.
Yep. It was fun.
So good stuff. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna end the stream. If you guys have any other questions, leave it in the comments, either on this video or on Mossbag's videos. He's got some trailers that are up. Yeah, go whatchamacallit, go pledge and back to this, and that way they can make the best game possible. Yeah, thank you so much, Mossbag. I really appreciate you coming by.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was really good. All right, I'll talk to you more soon.
Yep.
All right, bye everybody. Bye.